Hello, this is a video on Pythagoras, Pythagoras' theorem in fact, and massively useful theorem used all the time. And what it says, that is a very bad start to the day. Let me try that again, straight line-ish. What it says is if you have a triangle that has sides A, B and C, where A and B are two of the shorter sides, so the shorter sides are always connected to the right angle there. And if you've got a third side, C, and C is always the hypotenuse. Okay, the hypotenuse means that it's opposite the 90-degree angle. Okay, so it's also the longest side. C is the longest side, if you can sort of picture it. C is always the longest side. So if you've got those three sides, A, B and C, then you have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that will always hold for every 90-degree right-angled triangle. Okay, before I start doing it, you can use this formula and then solve the equation for each of those. But there's a bit of a shortcut, and so if you're trying to find a short side of a 90-degree triangle, so if you're trying to find side A or side B, then what that's equal to is it's equal to the long side squared minus the other short side squared. So it's equal to that. And similarly, if you're trying to find the long side of a right angled triangle, then it's equal to one of the short sides squared plus the other short side squared. So they're the sort of shortcuts. Basically, if you rearrange this for either A or C or that sort of thing, you'll see it's equal to this. And so if you're trying to find the long side, use this formula. If you're trying to find one of the short sides, use this formula. And so that's basically it for Pythagoras. Let's just crack in straight into some examples. But I don't think you'll find this terribly difficult. So let's go a triangle like this. There we go, the triangle's getting a little bit lumpy, but that's okay. And if you know that this is 7 and this is 3 and you want to find out how long is that. So let's just think about what we've got here. What's the long side? What's the short sides? Well, the long side is always the hypotenuse, which is always opposite the 90 degrees. So that's the long side there, or the hypotenuse. Either one of those two. And these are the shorts here. That's short, and that's short there. So what that tells us, using that shortcut that I told you, if we're trying to find a long side, so remember that long is equal to the square root of short squared plus short squared. So that means x is equal to the square root of one of the short sides squared, it doesn't matter which order you do it in, 3 squared plus the other one squared, so 3 squared plus 7 squared. And so that's it. And so then you get your trusty calculator out, and we're going to have 3 squared, so we want a square root, so we go second squared to give us the square root, and inside of here we want to go 3 squared plus 7 squared, and we want to press to the right to sort of get it out of there, and then press enter, and it gives us the exact answer of root 58. Now that's good, that's a nice exact answer. If you want that to be an approximate answer, if you want decimal places in that, then press the left and right arrow key there, and that'll give you your approximate answer. Okay, so 7.62 or root 58 equals root 58 or 7.62. Now the question didn't have units in here, there was no meters or centimeters or anything like that, so just units like that. And that's all there is to Pythagoras, it's just using those formulas. I'll just squeeze another example in here, but that's basically at the end of Pythagoras. It's very simple, but can be highly useful. So I've got something like this. Alright, and we'll have, let's find this tiny little short side down here, and let's say this is 23.7 centimeters, and let's say this is 25.1 centimeters, and we want to find x. Now it's a little bit trickier in these sort of circumstances to figure out which is the long side. Well, you can actually see it, but it's always opposite the 90 degrees. Okay, so that there is your hypotenuse, the long side, that one there. So we're trying to find one of the short sides, and remember that the short side is equal to the square root. Now it must be in this order. It must be the long squared minus the short squared. It must be in that order. If you do it in the wrong order here, you'll actually get an undefined result, because you'll get a negative number in there, because short minus long will be a negative number. So this is equal to long squared, so that'll be, the long side is 25.1, and we're going to square that, and minus the short side is 23.7, so 23.7 squared. Again, pull out your trusty calculator. You can't, it's very hard to do these questions without it, so 25.1 squared. So we want to do the square root of 25.1 squared minus, I can't remember what the other one was, 23.7 squared. 23.7 squared. Always press to the right, you probably don't need to, but that's just to get out of the square root. And press enter, and there's your answer, 8.27. 8.27 equals 8.27. Now, what have we got here? We're in centimetres here, both of them are centimetres, so your answer is in centimetres. And that's the length of x, so x, should have said that, therefore x equals that. And that's Pythagoras. Enjoy.